Hey, Bob Gardner here from LiberatedMan.com. Today, brief story. You're going to hear about my wife in a fabric store. That's how it runs. Okay, so today my wife goes to the fabric store. She has an interesting experience and calls me up a little bit later to try and make heads or tails of this situation. I was on the phone with somebody else and couldn't pick it up right away. So when I called her back, she starts with this situation. She says, I had an interesting situation that I wanted to tell you about. Now, I thought this was going to be something funny. I didn't know what was going to go on, but turns out she had gone to the store expecting to get a discount on a certain set of fabrics because she was making something for the kids. So expecting to pay $8, she gets to the register and it rings up as $30. And so she's like confused about what happened. She thought it was on sale and it wasn't. She double checks. She asks a couple of the store workers, and one of them kind of looks at her kind of funny and like gives her a face that my wife took to be kind of upset and mumbled something and walked off. And then the other lady was handling it, and maybe there was a label that was missing, or the way that they stacked the shelves was something that was a little bit weird and my wife didn't see it. So at first she thought it was their problem, and then later she was like, maybe it was my fault. So at that point in time, she's like, okay, well, if that was my fault, I want to pay full price and just handle it. And so she tries to make amends this way, but then the lady at the counter is like, no worries. So she calls me and she's like, I don't know what it is. I tried my best, but the other lady was still mad at me. Now, my wife is not a people pleaser. She does what she needs to do and respects that other people can do what they need to do. She's not trying to just like make everybody like her. So this is an interesting reaction. And so she's having a hard time processing it because she thinks, I tried my best and the other lady's still mad. So as I started to just simply ask her questions about what had really happened, sort of chronologically, she became suddenly aware that at the point where she was ready to make amends, ready to make things right, and wasn't allowed to do it, that was where a sense of guilt showed up. I'm ready to do what's right, but then I'm not allowed to. That's where guilt showed up. I can't tell you how many times that shows up in my life and other people's lives. That was enough. She's like, that's it. That's what's going on. And then she went and did her own processes that she does in order to be able to handle this. Processes she's developed because she lived with me for, we've been married for 13 years. And that's plenty, right? So she was able to release it, but only after she got to clarity about what was going on. And a lot of the angst and anxiety inside of her emotion was built around this notion that I'm ready to do what's right and I can't do what's right. Now, I felt this when I was single and I wanted to get married. I'm ready to do what's right, but no one is willing to marry me. And so I can't do what's right. And I felt all kinds of shame and guilt and like I was broken. Now, I felt that like some guys when they're ready to jump into a program with me, and they're like, dude, it costs how much? And I tell them, look, this is a $1,500 program. We're going to be here. We're going to be at this for 4 months. This is a $1,500 program. And they look at me and they're like, what? They want to do what's right. Like if there were no cost, they say that they would do it. But they can't because it's cost prohibitive or they have to raise the funds. Although most people find the funds in no time. Everybody's willing to help somebody figure out how to deal with pornography addiction. But, if I'm going to work with them one-on-one for 4 months, they need to actually pay for that so that I can put food on the table for my family. But they want to do what's right, and it makes them feel like almost worse when they can't. Now, there are people that, like in my life, when I want to do what's right inside of a church environment and I can't, or it doesn't work out right or something, like I want to give a great talk and it doesn't work out right, or I want to do a good lesson in church and I prepare everything and it doesn't work out right. There's this sense of brokenness and shame and unfeelingness that shows up inside of my life that makes me feel bad because I wanted to, but I couldn't, and I felt broken, right? Only in getting clear about that enables me to start to see that that's the issue. And let me let you in on a little secret. If all you can do is be willing, and that's it, that's all that's available to you, then that's all you can do. And that's enough. If you can do more and you're not willing, we have a different issue. But if all you can do is be willing, then that's enough until you can do more. And hopefully that allows some of you to feel a little bit better about what's going on. But also on the other side of things, what's really important with my wife was getting clear on what actually happened. The facts inside of the situation were the things that pointed her in the direction of what she needed to explore inside of herself. Most of us, you and I, are not detailed enough when it comes to really exploring what's going wrong. What's going on? I've had a bad day. Really? Out of 24 hours, you can't pinpoint one specific thing. Well, this guy did this one thing. And then what happened? And then what happened? And then how did you react to it? And then what did he do? Like, the specifics of it are really what point out what's going on inside of you. So let that be a place of inquiry for you today as you're examining your life. What is it that's making you happy? Get specific there. What is it that's making you unhappy? Get specific there.